Welcome to O People of the Book YouTube channel.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
Oh, people of the Book YouTube channel.
نبرات شعري سطرت لمداد حبري والقلم نبرات شعري سطرت لمداد حبري والقلم نبرات شعري سطرت لمداد حبري والقلم هيا قصائد سائلي قلب النوى ليس الشبم هيا قصائد سائلي قلب النوى ليس الشبم
Okay, it should be okay now. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. I hope everything's okay now. I just gave you the restart. Sometimes you have to restart yourself anyway, restart your engine and everything, and I hope everything's okay. Let me see. It shows I'm still having sound problem, but let's see. Anyway, from my side here, I can see that everything's okay, but on the YouTube side, it's showing the Yeah, I think that's okay now. Okay, fine. So again, let me start again. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulullah. Little bit of a again, this is showing again network issue there, but I don't know what's happening. Anyway, if you can hear me, just put yes in the chat there. Just mention yes. If everything's okay. Yeah, if everything's okay, fine. But it's showing Wi-Fi there. But I'm actually connected to the network. Yeah. So anyway, like I was saying, it's the weekend here, and my weekend is finishing. I hope you're having a good weekend for those of you who are in the weekend, and you're with me, Jamal, on O People of the Book, and yeah, the usual Saturday from monogamy to polygyny, a way through, and we've been going through the two case studies. One case study we went through few weeks back, and about Layla and the way she went through, and now this is for Aisha, another one. So the book now from page 202 goes through Aisha's case. Layla handled her case alone, took it all in herself, and suffered whatever she needed to suffer or whatever. But Aisha seems to have been seeking for help, asking for help from her wakil and whatever from her wali. So we'll see now. We'll be reading her letters and see. But in the meantime, please subscribe, like, and share. And for those of you who are in a polygamous situation, then obviously, if you're wanting to learn more, or if you have friends who are in polygyny, otherwise, this is part of our deen, and it's good that we know about it. It's good that we learn about it. Yeah, even if we're in the situation or we're not in the situation, this is very important, because we might know people who are in this situation, and then arguments start, and people start, having discussions against, with each other, and they use misconceptions. Whereas if you've studied it, you followed, whatever I've been teaching or whatever, then at least you can say, no, this is the way it is. This is the way it is. And if you've been going through the whole thing from the beginning. So it's not just for people who are in polygyny, or people who are wanting to go in polygyny, but as Muslims in general, we need them knowledge. And knowledge, Prophet ﷺ said that knowledge is fard on every Muslim. Yeah, knowledge is fard on every Muslim. So to get knowledge and then to share that knowledge, then alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes sure your path easy. So I hope that you benefit from this. I hope that you benefit. I mean, I'm giving my time and everything, and I'm hoping that you benefit. And please remember, on Friday afternoon, I've got a new couple of weeks ago we started now tafsir of Juz Amma. And last week we did Surah Al-Fatiha, and I have a scholar with me, a sister who's a PhD in Islamic studies, Dr. Farhat Nisar, and she's on Fridays. It's 11 o'clock UK time, and 4 o'clock. It'll be 4 o'clock in Pakistan, where she is, and 2 o'clock here in the Middle East. Yeah. So for those of you who finish Jum'ah, or you've got some time before Jum'ah, it's only an hour, and we're going through Juz Amma. And next week now we're going to start with Surah Naba. Yeah, and we went through Surah Al-Fatiha and everything. So please, subscribe, like, and share. I've been saying I want to do that for a long time. So here you are. Anyway, whoever's on the show now, at least put a little comment and give salam or whatever. So I know that I'm not talking to myself. And even if I was talking to myself, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's I'm doing this for Allah, and He's the one who will give me my reward. Anyway, let's get to the book. Okay, let's get to the book, and page 202. Now, she had written to somebody called Abdul Haq, And Abdul Haq, the question that she asked her now, how did you deal with that in terms of your relationship with her, as well as your relationship with your husband? Remember, we're talking about a case study of this sister now. Now you have to remember one thing: the sisters who are in this situation are the first wives. Yeah, the first wives are writing to their what's her name, and to their whoever around them, and asking. Yeah, and they're getting responses. So this is the response that she got there. Dear Aisha, lots of prayers and lots of discussions with the hubby. I let him know in no certain terms how dumb his behavior was in relation to me and our trust, and how he was quite repentant for it. Now, the reason why she's saying that is because he did not tell her. Okay. Now, there is no obligation in seeking her permission, but it's good to tell her in advance. Yeah, there is this entente between husband and wife, and you have to know, but you might not tell her on the same day. You might not tell her straight away. You can tell her afterwards, but if need be, after it's done, because not all sisters will accept it the day you tell her. As soon as you tell her, she's gonna probably go ballistic, basically, So. Many brothers would not tell the sister. They would do the act, and then tell her he's not doing anything haram. He's not doing anything. But she felt that he'd done something wrong, and she confronted him for it, and he was repentant. It took months not to feel rage at him every time I saw him, but strangely, I didn't feel rage at her. It's not her fault, basically. I just didn't want her to see. I avoided the places I knew she'd be, and I put up a front of not caring. When we did run across each other, I didn't want to give those Muslims any fodder in their fitna mill. I gave her salams, but sat with other friends. Now the community, yeah, they're there where there's gossip, where there's fitna, they're there. They're ready to inflame. So I think the sister is wise to have avoided them. And the thing is, if you don't give salam to that sister, then obviously they're going to go start, waswas and everything and that. So the sister was wise to give salam to her, and there's nothing wrong, salam alaikum, alaikum salam, and she goes and sits with her friends or whatever, So nobody can say anything. Nobody can say, look, she didn't give her salam and she didn't talk to her or whatever. Nobody can say that. Yeah. So she's wise in that part. Although she wasn't wise in some of the stuff that she'd done in the beginning, but what to do. Eventually, I realized that I did not want to leave my husband. He's a good brother, and I wanted to have a relationship with my new family member. I mean, Satan and your ego make it very easy to want to avoid it, to avoid and ignore your co-wife. So she wants to have now. She wants to keep her husband, and she wants to make a relationship with the new sister because she knows that Satan is the one who causes fitna and wants to separate them. So she wants to kind of she's made up her mind that she's going to not avoid and ignore her co-wife. He will convince you that it is okay to live like that, like they don't exist. But this is not what I believe. What I believe polygyny is about, and not what I spoke about when counseling other women. Now, this sister in the beginning, she mentioned that she was totally pro polygyny. She had no problems with polygyny. From young, she was preaching polygyny and everything. So how could she now turn around and misbehave and stuff like that? So she found it not appropriate to kind of act in any way that will cause issues. Yeah. So I called her and we began to talk. She was very sweet. Next, we went shopping and talked girlish stuff, but not about our husband and how they met and everything. I said, very interesting, Keep that as a different subject. She's living her life, you're living yours. Okay, and now you don't want to kind of delve into, because this is when the fitna starts. If she says something about your husband that you don't like, you're going to turn around and tell your husband, she said this about you, she said that about you. She might not be saying it in a bad way, she might not be saying it in a bad way, but you as well, like, she might be saying a good thing about him, and you'll kind of take it hurtful or whatever, and you'll say something about it. So it's better not to talk about the husband, but to talk your usual things. You like, I mean, when guys meet together, I mean, I said to you several times, we don't talk just politics. We talk about other things as well. So same thing, same thing. You don't have to talk about the whatever. But okay, eventually she began to ask me about how our husband and I met. Our history questions about what kind of foods he likes. Now she's trying to know what kind of food he likes, because obviously she's married to him now. She's married to him, and his wife knows him. His first wife knows him better than this one. So obviously she'd want to know, in order to please him, to make him. I mean, if a guy didn't like something, obviously he would have told his wife. But if he didn't like something in particular, there's something. Yeah. If she didn't like something in particular, and she didn't know that he didn't like that, then obviously, like, that could cause some issues between them. So she's finding out now what kind of foods he liked, and I could tell she was sincerely interested, and to bridge our relationship. Alhamdulillah, now we are close. See now how this happens now. She's not asking, they're not talking about things that would cause fitna between this wife and that wife, but she asked about the foods that he likes. So maybe when she gets home now, she'll prepare that dish for him. If this is his favorite dish, she'll prepare that dish for him, and he'll probably get to like her more. Yeah. So it's not the was like, he said this, he said that, she said this, she said that. No, it's about what he likes to eat, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, obviously, as a wife, she'd like to make her husband happy. So she's wise. This is wise about the things that they ask one another. If I think about it hard and long enough, I can still get mad at my husband for how he started all this. Because while he says he didn't think I could have handled it, regardless of what I said, regardless of what I said pro polygyny, I don't understand how he couldn't see the breach in trust his move would eventually cause, and that I would eventually find out. We always do, but I don't think about it anymore. I don't believe in giving shaitan any extra room for whispering. MashaAllah. So that was her answer to Sister Masalama, Sister Abdul Haq. So this is Sister Abdul Haq answering to Aisha now. Yeah. So it's not her. This is her friend. Her friend answering her back. Okay, for her, because she's in polygyny as well. Her friend's in polygyny as well, and she's questioning her. Okay, so now she's send letters again now to the sisters. Dear sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I often get so depressed that I just lay there in bed all day and don't want to do anything. While the girls ravage the house, her daughters, I have to struggle to just get up for salah. Astaghfirullah. Hardly a day goes by that my husband and I don't fight about something. I'm really sick of that. We can't have a conversation about anything without it turning into a fight. And yet it hurts me so much to see him walk out on me when he has to leave the house to go to a house. The kids aren't talking all this too well either. They're so attached to their father, and now they see him so they see him much less and don't get with him so much. I'm constantly asking, I'm constantly asked, is daddy sleeping here tonight? So the kids are beginning to feel the, that, you know, it affects their life as well. So they're beginning to ask, is the father, because they're beginning to feel that 3 days maybe he's not there, the 3 days is with her, 3 days is with the other one. So they're beginning to feel that as well now. Okay. I'm constantly asked, is daddy sleeping here tonight? I'm getting sick of this question. I want to bite my daughter's head off, but I know it's not her fault. She's young and she doesn't understand what I'm going through. Oh, Maisha. So you see now, her friend gave her the advice about how she patched things up with the other one, and the other one asked her what she cooked and everything. Yet she still haven't got over it yet. Yeah, her friend was pro polygyny and everything, and even that she wasn't happy over what her husband had done, and whatever. But now Aisha herself, she kind of is taking advice from all her friends, and she feels a bit you can still see that inside her. The replies: Assalamu alaikum, Aisha. Although I'm not in a plural marriage, sister, I really feel for you. But reading your letter, I can imagine your feelings now. Although I know it's hard sometimes when we are feeling blah and in the dumps, and in the dumps to turn to Allah. We have to make the effort because He is the only one we really have. Who can ease our pain. Try and wake up at night and offer tahajjud and pray and cry to your Lord to give you patience with that situation. To give you patience in this situation that already is. Wa alaikum salam, Sister no, sorry. Wassalamu alaikum, Sister Yusuf. So now this sister, although she's not in polygyny now, but she's giving her good advice. See, this is what is important now, to reach out to sisters who are not going to tell you to cause problems in your marriage, who are not going to tell you to leave him and go or whatever. Sisters who are telling her to turn to Allah. This sister now is not in polygyny. Yeah, she doesn't. She's not in polygyny, but her advice is sound advice. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Now she moves on to another reply. Another reply from Omar. Okay, dear Aisha, I understand as a woman how difficult it is to part with these men, but you have not lost him. He will be more pleased with you if you accept this part of the religion instead of fighting with him every time you see him. Now, there are some groups that I'm a member of, and for discussion, for because I'm a student of knowledge and everything, and you keep seeing, this is a dawah page actually, but you keep seeing this thing that pops up, that sisters advising men, okay, you don't do your sunnah. You don't do your sunnah. The only sunnah that is polygyny. Now, I asked a question. I asked them a question in there. What if the man is performing his sunnah? What if the man is doing more than his sunnah? He's giving charity. He's practicing his fard and everything. And I said to her, I am sure you would have the same resistance, the same problem as a man who's not practicing his sunnah. It's not an issue of the man practicing the sunnah, although it is, yes, important that a man is practicing if he wants to be in a polygamous situation. But this is the nature of man. Okay, so what if the man was properly practicing? He was doing all his fard. He was waking up in the middle of the night praying. He was reading his Quran. He was talib al-ilm, everything. I am sure that there would still be something that the sisters would be against. Yeah, because I've been in groups where actually, oh, commentaries have been made, like, oh, he's got a long beard and this and that and the other, and like, long beard doesn't make you practice. They're never satisfied. The sisters were never satisfied with the man who had all. What we did was, among the brothers, we kind of made a checklist. Okay, we made a checklist of things that a practicing brother would have, right? And we said, okay, if you've checked everything on that list, everything is perfect, would you still accept? And the sisters turned around, and some of them said, no, maybe his beard is not, not because he's got a beard and he's wearing a thobe or something. That means he's a proper practicing Muslim. So we told the sisters, look, you've just checked that list there. Everything checks. Everything checks on that list, but still you have issues. So this issue about, you don't practice your sunnahs, why is it that this is the only sunnah, doesn't work, because we, brothers, like, in groups and everything, we've actually tried that. We've put lists there of the things that a good man would do, and still the sisters didn't accept it anyway. So this sister now is telling him, instead of fighting with him, okay, accept this part of the deen. Okay, you accept it, because if he's a good man, and he's got everything, yeah, but then you don't accept it, what's the point then? Yeah, instead of fighting every time you see him, remember that Allah is not pleased with us if our husbands are not pleased. It's very important things. How can I put this now? Some people might think it's misogynistic, but, like, this is the way it is. Like, the husband, if he's pleased with his wife, and he's always looking at his wife with a smile, and I advise brothers, like, to always, when you're looking at your wife, look at her with a smile, with happiness. If she makes you happy, then look at her with the smile and happiness. Yeah. So if you're pleased with her, then Allah will be pleased with her. But then, if Allah is displeased because she's broken the rules of what's her name, of His rules, then that remember that Allah is not pleased with us, or if our husbands are not pleased with us. So if you're making issues in the house, you're starting fight, you're having making problems, you're wanting divorce, just because maybe the brother just said, I want to take another. He hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done it. He's had it in his mind, and there goes World War III. Bang, bang, bang. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is displeased with that. Okay, please do not let the shaitan win this marriage. Okay, you must remember to seek the pleasure of Allah. This is much more important than seeking time and attention of our men. Jannah is our goal. That's very, very important. I keep reminding the sisters how much reward Allah has offered to the sisters for just accepting it, for just being patient. Yeah, you get the reward of a man in the battlefield in jihad. A man goes in jihad, which is further on a man in what's the name, in circumstances where it happens. It is fard on him. It is not fard on you. In the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, if you read, you will find that very, very few women went to the battlefield, and if they did, they only went there just to carry water. They went there to cure the wounded or whatever. It is not fard on the woman, but it is fard on the man. Now, if that is fard on him, and he's getting arrows thrown at him and everything, you get that reward for staying at home and being patient. That is the reward that you get if it's not in the time of jihad. Obviously, I'm talking about normal times. You being patient in your house equals that reward that brother would be getting if he's on the battlefield of protecting the ummah, protecting the sisters, protecting you, basically. Yeah. So the sister reminds her here that Jannah is our goal. That is very, very important. Jannah is our goal. Okay, and it says here with love, Omar. Okay, Assalamu alaikum, sister Aisha. Remember, she's been writing to different sisters here. Yeah, she's been writing to different sisters, and sisters, alhamdulillah, maybe she has a lot of friends and everything, and they're all giving her advice. Yeah. And alhamdulillah, much of it has been very, very good advice. Very, very good advice that, like, I would prefer that sisters hang around with sisters like that than to hang around, especially sisters who are not married. Sisters who are not married, who don't have a husband, they're going to tell you to leave him. Leave him, like, you can get other men elsewhere. But sisters who have a good husband, who's good and who looks after them, who pays the rent, who feeds them, who does everything he needs to fulfills his rights, then why is his wife going to want to leave him? Okay, so assalamu alaikum, sister Aisha. I don't mean to be harsh, but try your best to get a grip. As much as you love this man of yours, he is just a man, and no one should have as much sway over your outlook on life, on life, and on your life. Allah is God. And sometimes the tests are very hard, but you are not being tested with anything you can't pass. That's very clear. Allah doesn't burden us, and Allah's made that clear in the Quran. He doesn't burden us with something that we cannot handle. Yeah. So, and she's telling him here, he's just a man, basically. Like, today he's here, tomorrow he's not. And he's got the feelings of a man as well. Men have urges. Men have, so this sister's kind of like, taking a different route now, different path with her, alhamdulillah. Yeah. Okay, and she's being tested. She reminds her that she's being tested. And remember, the best are tested. The best were tested before. And obviously, for her to be tested, nothing was. What's happening? Okay, yeah. Dig it. If the whispers in your head are too much for you to take, there are whispers that from that, the most damn whisperer, shaitan, and you cannot believe them. Just the opposite is true. We are interdependent creatures, especially in the marital context. Since Allah is just and polygyny is the right of the man, there has to be a strength in our very essence that make it easy for women to share their man. See, she's already guiding her to not listen to the waswas of shaitan, and to basically don't let him win. Yeah? I'd like to remind you one more time that you're watching O People of the Book, and we're broadcasting on O People of the Book, and also we're broadcasting on Consider This TV network, which is a network of channels. We have a group of brothers on that network. We've got Brother Muhammad from the UK, from Coventry Faith Foundation, who's always got some very, very good content. I'd advise you to subscribe to him as well. The Muslim Apologist, which is Brother Muhammad from Malaysia, and also you've got Brother Asad, who is in the US. He's on the channel as well, and also you've got Brother Abu Zaid. We've got Brother Abu Zaid, who just a couple of days ago had a show. So please go into there and subscribe and like all of us. And please remember to click on the bell. Click it so hard that the neighbors can hear, so that next time when we have content, you will hear about it. So please subscribe on this channel, subscribe, like, and share, and subscribe, like, on others. I've been asking you recently. I've got 458 subscribers. I don't do this for subscription. I do this for Allah only. But it would be nice to see that more people are following me, that more people are benefiting from this. So bring it up to 500. Okay, get your friends to tell your friends about it, and bring them to join and subscribe as well. Like I said earlier on, you might not be in a polygamous situation, but this is the deen. This is the deen, and we have to learn the deen from every aspect. We get them, whether we what's the name, whether we know about. There's some things of the deen that because of our misunderstanding we might find like, I'm not too happy with this, But once you learn the truth about it, then once Allah has decreed, then there's nothing you should have an opinion on. Allah tells us in the Quran, like, once Allah and His Prophet has decreed something, who are you to have an opinion? So if you had an opinion on polygyny, and now, like, you need some clarifications. I'm not a scholar. I'm a student of knowledge, and I'm trying my best to help my brothers and sisters. And, like, if you could just give a salam in the comments, and, like, at least I know I'm not talking to myself, and, like, Anyway, so let's carry on. So now the sisters says to her, a strength so great that Shaitan and his imps have made it one of their first and foremost goals to make us forget it and drown us with jealousy, anger, and fear. And this concept of ownership, you know what I mean. Now, there is I don't know if it's a hadith, but I hear it quite often about. I'm sure it's a hadith. I don't know it fully, but I know that the shaitans, they go out and they do cause fitna and everything. And then when they come back, each one asks, what have you done today? What have you done today? It's nothing. The one that says that he broke up a marriage, that's a great thing that he did. So they're very pleased with him. I'm sure it's a hadith, and I need to check it or whatever. It just came to my mind. So Shaitan's job is to try and break your marriage. Don't let him do that. Don't give him that pleasure, because this is one of the big shaitans, and their pleasure is to do that kind of thing, break marriages. Yeah. So Shaitan once Shaitan gets in, he does not forget or give up, and all we can do is do. All we can do is do. Remember, this is the sisters' letters, so sometimes different sisters have different vocabulary, whatever. That is why I say, as hard as it is, get up every day and go and do your daily routine. The children are not only seeing your negative reaction, but they are feeling it down their bones. Just think how few good men are out there. Very good reminder. I mentioned that in groups a while back, in marriage groups and polygyny groups, that good men are very difficult to find. You can find men everywhere, men everywhere, but good men. Yeah, good men. If you're talking about good men, a sister who has the opportunity of marrying a good man, doesn't matter if he's already married. If he's a good man, because there are very few. There are very few out there who are good men, who are good fathers, who are good husbands, who've already had that experience. Okay, you've already had that experience of treating a wife properly, treating his children properly. Okay, and now just because he's married, you're going to leave him? No, you're going to refuse? No, you'll end up regretting him, maybe. Anyway, imagine how many less there will be when your daughter is ready for marriage. Very interesting question, yeah? The way life is going nowadays. Very interesting statement, I mean. The lines are being drawn. It is becoming very clear who is in the army of light and the army of dark. And within the Islamic ranks, Muslims are either getting very strong in their belief in deen or getting weaker and weaker. Very good reminder, sister. Think about that. Yeah, you have men on one side and women who are getting stronger. Brothers who have got the knowledge of deen, who are practicing their deen, practicing their sunnahs, practicing whatever they need, the maximum they can do. And then you're getting on the other side. You're getting sisters who want to take off hijab. Sisters who this and that and the other, and brothers who are not practicing and saying things and doing things they shouldn't. So one side you have brothers who are getting stronger, and the other side you have brothers who are getting weaker, and you find that less and less good brothers out there. So I believe that our daughters have even more of a chance of sharing some time in their lives than we did, and lots of us are sharing, and they must not have fear or hatred or disdain for it. Very good advice the sisters give you. Yeah. Because if you think about it, the way I often talk about this with my kids, yeah, that the way life is going on. By the time our grandkids, my grandkids, get older, they're going to have worse situation than what we had. So this is why I keep telling my daughters, don't let them all the time in front of the TV watching cartoons. Don't give them iPhones and phones to play with. This corrupts their minds. Yeah, give them more Quran, play more Quran in the house. The programs that they are watching as well, make sure it's Islamic based. Because they will go through worse situations than what we are. A couple of days ago, I was telling my daughters as well that they're wanting to take a lot of things out of the Islamic curriculums. In the West, I think they've already started, but here where I am in the Middle East, they're still struggling with it. They're still struggling with it, but they're wanting to remove a lot of things that are important in our life, in our deen. They're wanting to remove it. So can you imagine now our kids, by the time they get our age, or by the time they get to their mid 20s, a lot of things that are in the deen, they will not know about it. So when it comes to polygyny, if it's taboo for many of the sisters today, how taboo is it going to be for them? Yeah, with the issue of the alphabet community, getting worse and worse, spreading more and more, and our kids getting into all this. So when they get older, how bad is it going to be for them? Yeah. So the choice that they will have, if these sisters are ingrained with Deen, your daughters, our daughters, if they ingrained in their heart already with Deen, then sharing would not be a problem for them. But if they don't have the teaching of Deen, then what's going to happen? They're going to find it even more taboo. Shaitan is going to waswas even more. Yeah. So very good advice. This bit that the sister's been telling her about her daughters and everything is very good advice. Polygyny can be one of the most beautiful ornaments of this deen. Yesterday, I was watching my teacher. Yeah, I was watching my teacher video of his that he'd mentioned this, and a lot of people don't understand polygyny. It's not for everybody. Polygyny is not for everybody. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry can practice it. Yeah, men are men. They are good men out there, and they're also boys in men's clothing, basically, who are not ready to live a proper life, and they're wanting to take one wife and two and three and four or whatever. So this is only for the men who can. Yeah. Okay. The sister says, act content, act happy. Explain to your daughters and yourself that Allah that you will explain to your daughters and yourself and Allah that you will rise to the occasion and kick shaitans behind. Yeah. The sister, get up and go, sister, kind of thing, Alhamdulillah, I like this attitude. Yeah. And that you will win this. Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting advice the sister's giving her. And especially, she's mentioning about her daughters, the sister's daughters, now their sister, Aisha's daughters, because they're watching. You remember earlier on, it mentioned that her daughters are wondering, before they saw their father, now they're not seeing their father, seeing their father for 3 days. If you turn around now and start, cussing the father, you see what your father's doing, look what he's done. Obviously, when they get older now, what's going to happen? when they get married, what's going to happen? What's their view going to be on polygyny? You see, so the mother's responsibility now is to bring the truth to these girls. Otherwise, you'll have to answer for it on the day of Yom Qiyamah. You remember in the last lesson, it mentioned that it could lead you to major sin. It could lead you to major sin if you if you act inappropriately and say things that are inappropriate, break your marriage for no reason whatsoever. Your husband's good to you, but you just don't like polygyny. You don't want to hear about it. You break up your family. It could bring you to major sin. Yeah, so these girls now, these daughters, these children that you have, they are amana from Allah. There's a responsibility that Allah has given you over them, and obviously, you need to know how to educate them. So this sister now is giving good advice. Yeah, make sure that you win this and you kick shaitans behind, and that you will win this. At first, it is phony, but it doesn't stay that way. Get to know the sister. She's probably just anxious, and maybe just as upset as you are. That's that strength of compassion and empathy women have. Just remember one thing. Just think about it. You don't know that sister, right? She could have been an orphan. She could have been somebody who doesn't have brothers and sisters, or even if she's not an orphan. I'm giving different cases here. She could have been an orphan, or she could have been a sister who haven't had any brothers and sisters. She could have been lonely. She could have been a widow as well. So, you have to reach out to her and be more compassionate to her, because you don't know what she's been through in life. Now, to be hard on her, to kind of be harsh to her, it might make things worse, because already, your husband might have married her, knowing that she doesn't have any brothers or sisters, and now she's going to get into a bigger family, so she'll feel more wanted and stuff like that. And now, if you kind of make things harsh for her. So this is why the sister said, get to know the sister. She's probably just as anxious and maybe just as upset as you are. That's that strength of compassion and empathy women have. She probably feels it. Give her a hug. Treat your husband kindly. Don't fight over little things. Leave the room if you have to. And offer to rak'ah. Very good advice. Offer the tahajjud prayer. Very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, get busy. Do things you like to do. We keep talking about that every time. Progress your Quran, read a book, and learn to do something. Go to the gym. Go to the gym. Do some workout. Go learn to cook. Meet sisters. Have a sisters meeting twice a week or whatever. Get busy. Okay, get busy and do things you like to do. Share them with the sister. Concentrate on the kids, but do something positive, mashallah. Sis, you take that first step towards creating your own happiness, because you do have much to be happy and grateful for. And stay persistent day by day. It gets better. See, the sister's giving her advice now. And I'm liking some of the advice that the sisters are giving her, okay? And like I said, this could apply to you as well. You can end up falling in this situation as well. So these advice that we are reading about, these letters that we are reading about, maybe one day that could help you. You can fall in that situation and you remember, hey, hang on a minute. I remember a brother did a show on YouTube, and he was reading these case studies about these sisters, and now I'm falling into that same situation. So you can use that now, because we learn from the past, and we learn from the mistakes of others. So I hope that you are benefiting from this. Yeah, we've reached the 48-minute mark now, and I'd like to remind you once again that you're watching O People of the Book, and please subscribe, like, and share. And like I said, the other channels that we're on as well. Please subscribe, like, and share. I'd like to remind you again, the Friday as well. The Friday we have we've started the tafsir of Juz Amma, and I have a special guest with me, which is Dr. Farhadni Anisab from Pakistan. Alhamdulillah, she's a PhD in Islamic studies. So alhamdulillah, I'll be learning a lot from her as well. So yeah, please tune in. Your mouth gets dry when talking a lot. Okay, carry on. We'll carry on with the sister's letter now. Inshallah, in time, you'll be able to go back and explain to your kids why mommy reacted so hard when daddy took auntie blank, her name, as a wife. Then how you beat those feelings and shaitan and did what you did what you had to do anyway and overcame, and now you can't even understand why you were so upset in the beginning. Yeah, so you will sit down in the future now and tell your daughters, because your daughters will be inquiring now as they get older. They will see how it was before and how you accepted it and how you now so you'll be explaining to them how you reacted first, because now she's become part of the family now. Either your daughters will call her auntie so and so, or will call it whatever the arrangements you have, and you will sit down and you'll go back and talk to your daughters about this, because they'll be growing up, they'll be getting married, they'll be falling in this situation. Life's lessons your babies will learn. Okay, very interesting. Okay, it's one of the best life lessons your babies will learn. You can do this, sister, inshallah. Again, this is Abdul Haq. Okay, my dear sister Aisha. Okay, we're on 51, so we've got some time now. I can carry on with this now. Yeah, it's a long letter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I know this is going to sound a little hard, but you have to pull yourself together. Yeah? Make the biggest effort not to let shaitan prevail in this situation. Have you noticed something coming up every time? Yeah? All the sisters are advising her not to let shaitan get the better of her. Yeah? Interesting, huh? Because this is the thing. This is what prevails in a situation like this. In a situation of polygyny, this is what prevails. Okay, this is what prevails. Where you'll find the sisters. The first thing that they would do, fight, shout, and cause problems or whatever. So the main thing is shaitan. The waswas of shaitan is the main thing. And these sisters that she's addressing, they're answering her back. Protect yourself from shaitan. All of them have mentioned that Satan's is behind this, and don't let him win and everything. So they're all giving her good advice on this. I can understand that this thing probably is in your mind when you wake up, and it's the last thing on your mind when you fall asleep. But you have to fight the Satans that I'm sure are whispering to you. You have a relationship with your husband that is unique to you. I'm sure that he loves you, and I know that you know that too. You have his children. You have that bond that you have that bond. I'm sure that you have. Don't let the curse triumph in this battle. And indeed, my sister, this is a battle. Okay, there's a keep getting notification of. I was trying to download something, but okay, yeah, right, okay. So Maybe you're feeling insecure at the situation, not totally feeling healed from the way that he got married, and maybe feeling that there's some kind of conspiracy going on while you are oblivious to the developing situations. You're arguing over small things. I can imagine what they consist of. Did he forget to bring the baby's milk? Was the doctor's appointment that he had to miss because of his obligation to his other wife? These are all hypothetical questions, but what are you feeling right now that is not anything new? The daughters of Bani Adam, uh, no normal what's her name? No, normal sisters, yeah, normal sisters, but daughters of Bani Adam that came before you have felt this, and the daughters that come after you will feel the same too. No doubt, he is more than likely feeling as anxious as you, and I'm sure that he has your best interest at heart. Trust in Allah, sister. This situation was not going to pass you by. Don't beat yourself up imagining that you could have done what you could have done to have changed this fact. It was decreed over 50,000 years before Allah even created the universe. I don't know if you know this hadith, but 50,000 years before Allah even created us, even before He even created the universe, Allah created the pen. The pen was the first thing that Allah created, and He told the pen to write. Yeah? Everything from the beginning until the end. And whatever is happening to us now, whatever happened to us before our birth, our life, how we're going to die, has already been written 50,000 years before Allah created the universe. So you cannot change that. Obviously, dua can help you change qadar. If there's something bad coming to you or something good coming to you or whatever, you can make dua, and Allah can change qadar. But it's already been written. Allah has decreed 50,000 years before He created the universe. So, and it mentions clearly in the Quran, if Allah and His Prophet has decreed something, who are we to have an opinion over it? Okay, very clear in the Quran. Right now, it is early days. He's getting used to the new situation as well as you all are. Maybe right now he's not taking the kids with him as much as he used to, but inshallah this is only temporary. Let me ask, would you be happy if he took the kids to the other house all the time? I know that on my husband's marriage to his wife, I did not want the kids to go to her house. I was feeling petty that year. Astaghfirullah. I'm sure that once the situation settles down, the kids will be with him as much as before, inshallah. So this is a sister who has experience in polygyny, and she's telling her that, her husband, the way he's acting with the kids, maybe it's just temporary, and maybe he will, once he gets over it and everything, and herself. The sister herself, Aisha herself, would not have wanted him to take the kids away from her more than that, because she would have felt lonely. At least now she's got her kids with her. Yeah. So at least now she's got her kids. But if he had more interaction with the children, this sister now is telling her everything will get back to normal again. Don't worry about it. Okay. We've got another, let's say it's 58 now, 58 minutes. There's another maybe paragraph and a half of her letter to go. So we'll read this and we'll finish on here. I used to have that question asked: where is Abi sleeping tonight? My kids have been raised in polygyny, mashallah, and they still ask the same questions. Sometimes it did hurt me, but let me tell you something, sister. They look up to you And 9 times out of 10, they are affected by how you feel. It's very important. Yeah. Your negativeness would make the children negative as well. And this is a sister whose kids were born in polygyny. They were raised in polygyny, and they still ask the question: "Where's Daddy going to sleep tonight? Is there, is he sleeping at home or whatever?" They still ask the same questions. They okay. If they have seen me cry, and when I say cry, I mean really cry, that's going to affect them. They don't want to see their mother upset, and they are smart enough to figure out that it has something to do with their father's new marriage. Okay? You have to find strength in you to be strong for them. Trust in Allah to pull you through when you want to cry. Call to Allah to give you patience. Okay? That's the advice the sister's giving her. The Sheikh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah said that Muslims are in 2 states. The state of good times, when they give thanks and have gratitude, and the state of test and trial, where they have to exhibit patience. This is your test, sister. Trust in Ar-Rahman. Now you see, Sheikh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah mentioned something here. You're in 2 states. State of good times, where you give thanks and gratitude. Okay? Thanks and gratitude. And then the times of test and trial. Both of them you give thanks and gratitude. When you're in the test and trial, although you're in test and trial, Allah is testing you, you will still turn around to Allah and ask Him, Ya Allah, please help me. Ya Allah, take me out of this, whatever. Yeah. You're still in both situations. You're in thanks and gratitude. And this is the best situation to be in. Always, in good times and in bad times, always turn to Allah. When you have money, when you have health, when you have everything, you turn to Allah. Yeah, and not just when you're ill, when you're on your bed and you're on your deathbed or whatever. Now you're going to turn to Allah. No, this is your test, sister. Trust in Ar-Rahman. Please perform dhikr of Allah. Play Quran tapes. Be around sisters. Read books, anything that's going to make you feel more focused. There is nothing that is more soothing than the hurt and broken heart. Examine what you love your husband for. Do you love him truly for the sake of Allah, or is it some dunya reason? Interesting issue. Yeah, interesting issue here. All these years you're married to your husband, you've loved him. What do you love him for? For some dunya reason? Because he's got a big car, he's got a big house, his pocket is full. Or do you love him for Allah? Because he's a creation of Allah, and he's a good man, he follows his deen, he practices his deen. You love him for that, or do you love him for the dunya? Think about that. The best love to have is that which is for the sake of Allah. My dear sister, please don't misunderstand anything that I have said. I'm not criticizing you. I'm not looking down on you. I want for you what I want for myself. Remember that hadith, yeah? لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى يحب أخيه ما يحب لنفسه. Okay? One is not a proper Muslim if he doesn't want for his brother Muslim what he wants for himself. Clear. Now, it applies on the sisters as well. So there you go. Okay, so the sister finishes now. Inshallah, we will make dua for you. Take care, and Allah protect you and keep you strong in this time. Ameen. Wa salamu alaikum, Asma. Okay, so we're going to well, 1 second. Still the 1 hour. Let me see if this is short. There's another to finish the page. There's now she answers back to them. Let's just go through that quickly. Let's just go through that quickly. Where I scrolled and. Yeah, okay. So there's just half a page, basically. So we can finish that. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Aisha. I know about this one. I know about this one too. I'm trying to find ways to avoid this trap of shaitan, because shaitan wants only to destroy our marriages. Remember earlier on I told you there's different types of shaitan who go out and do different jobs, and the one who separates a couple, he is more praised, he's more loved. There's a hadith, actually check the hadith of what's the name, it mentions how the shaitan break marriages and everything. Still, we go on. Try waiting to speak. To try waiting to speak your anger. That is, pray first. Wait 1 hour, then say it. Write it down first, then say it. Perform dhikr for 10 minutes by the clock. Look for something good to say. A cute remark from a child, a cheerful observation on life, quote an ayah of hadith, greet him pleasantly, even if it lasts, if only lasts for a few minutes. I know that all of these are easier to say than do. It can be hard on the kids too. They are more aware than they realize. And they may not be able to express their concerns. Spend some time doing fun things with them, especially on her days. Play a game, take a walk, eat special kid food. Extra hugs are nice too. Yeah. So she's advising her to spend more time with her kids. Yeah. Do things with them to make you and them not think about it. Okay. Extra hugs are nice too. Play strong, sister. Remember that the goal of this life is to gain paradise. Do not let the accursed shaitan harm you or your family. Make Allah bless you in this world and in the next for all your deeds, intentions, and patience, sister. Lovingly yours, Maryam. So that was another sister who wrote to her, giving her advice. Now, I think we'll finish here. We'll finish here, and okay, and yeah. So we'll finish here, page 210. 210, and then we will start next week with another sister writing to her and giving her advice. Sister Safia, there's a sister called Sister Safia who's one of her friends. She's going to be writing to her and giving her advice. So we'll be going on to that next week, inshallah. Like I said, I'm only a student of knowledge. I'm not a scholar or anything, and I'm trying to do my best to help my brothers and sisters who are in this situation. And even though we're not in this situation, this is our deen, and we have to learn about it. It's part of our religion. The Prophet practiced polygyny. Allah in the Quran made it halal for us, so we need to know about it. So whether you're in polygyny or you're not, and it's good to know about it. Yeah. So alhamdulillah, I hope you benefited from it. If there's anything that I said that was wrong, please forgive me. I'm only a student of knowledge, and I'm not a scholar or anything. And also, I'm weak. Please make dua for me that Allah gives me more strength in my deen, that I could fulfill my deen, and also make dua for me that this goes in my scale of good deeds. Yeah, because this is what we're doing it for. This is the reason why I'm doing it for, is for the pleasure of Allah. Yeah? So we finish here, we end here, and remember next week. So next week is Friday and then Saturday. Friday afternoon after Jummah, for me it's after Jummah, 11 a.m. UK time. Middle East time it's 2 p.m. and Pakistan time it's 4 p.m. Remember the tafsir of Juz' Amma. Yeah, and we're going to be doing Surah Naba next week. We're going to be going through Surah Naba. So we're starting from the beginning now. We just finished Surah Fatiha, and I've got a scholar with me who's going to be our teacher, Dr. Farhat Nisar from Pakistan, who has actually PhD in Islamic studies. So this is a learning session for me as well. It's a learning session for me, and at the same time, like, I'll share what I know, the knowledge, the little knowledge that I have with you as well. Yeah. So I suppose we'll end here, and we'll see you next week, inshallah. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.